we are here to talk to you about the tactical factors in the Spanish conquest. Our main focus will be on the encounters with the Aztecs.
As Daniel Douglas once said, warfare is not random violence, but rather a calculated political act employing definable techniques. Success in battle is mediated through the tactical and organizational concepts and usages of either side.
The conquest of Mexico was remembered as memorable and vital a moment as the Colombian moment. We will dissect the conquest for you, addressing battle formations, weapons, and other tactics that the Spanish and the natives used.
Let's take a look now at how the Spanish army was composed. The Spanish force was comprised of 3 basic divisions: the infantry, the cavalry, and the allies. Each of these performed individual tasks to support the whole. Moral support and unity, along with discipline, effort, and flexibility, were esteemed high values of the Spanish combat. It is thought, to say most simply, that Spanish victory can be accredited to the abilities of the cavalry to divide and conquer the natives.
Diamond addresses the Spanish use of cavalry to be a large factor. He mentioned rattles that the Spaniards would place on their horses to frighten the natives. Also, he accredited the capture of Atahalpa to the use of 7 to 8 men on horseback. Pizarro only commanded 62 soldiers mounted on horse and 106 on foot to battle the native army of 80,000. However, Diamond also mentioned that the natives learned how to trap horses in narrow pathways to render them useless. Unfortunately, this was difficult to do, making the horse a great advantage still for the Spaniards.
The Spanish force was known as the gentlemen adventurers, since they were comprised completely of volunteers. On the contrary, the Aztecs had a system of recruitment that was based solely on health and age. This accounted for their great numbers. Their numbers were so great, in fact, that even the few indigenous that allied the Spanish outnumbered the gentlemen adventurers. Matthew Rustall, when referring to the myth of the White Conquistador, claims that most of the actual military action was accomplished by these allies.
During the Spanish conquest of the Aztecs, it becomes obvious that not only was the culture of war between Aztecs and Spain different socially and morally, but also materialistically, in regards to weapons. Each side had their own special tools, but during the fights, each side captured and attempted to master the enemy's weapons.
Once the Aztecs understood that their concept of war lagged behind Spain, who had already a long previous history of conquest, they captured Spanish weapons, especially swords, either mounted on long poles like lances or elite warrior swords. It is also said that they captured men to force them to teach how to utilize these weapons in battle, as said by author Ross Hasing. Do not think, however, that the Spanish gunpowder was undefeatable. Aztecs developed sharp cutting swords and damaging slingshots, as you can observe from the following video.
Weaponry is often brought as a factor in the conquest. The Spaniards had steel weapons, they had firearms, they had cannons.
But could these 2 other factors, gunpowder and steel, really have been powerful enough to overcome what were still overwhelming odds? The history books say yes. The steel armor of the Spaniards could have withstood most Aztec weapons, but it didn't cover the whole body.
Actually, this is pretty typical of kills because most of the wounds that the Spaniards took were down the neck and under the arm and around the armor.
While gunpowder gave the Spanish a clear technological advantage in long-range exchanges, it was not practical in close contact.
This is called a maquawit. It's a wooden sword. It was inset with very sharp obsidian blades. These are just like very, very sharp knives. Very brittle though, but extremely effective in cutting. It would be very effective, as you can imagine, as a slashing item. Right? If you were to slash him, that would cut right through your arm.
Now that was a cut. And you see the cut in here easily, 6 or 7 inches, single blow cutting right through that.
Close up, the 2 armies would have been fairly evenly matched. But even at longer range, gunfire would not have been enough to tip the balance in favor of the Spaniards, because the Indians had a deadly countermeasure: the sling.
Clearly lethal if you're unarmored. Yeah, in the face, break the cheekbone, put him out of commission. And in a battle, there would have been thousands of these.
Moving on to Army formations, it becomes evident that battleground history plays a key role in success and eventual victory. The triple unit army of the Spanish was devastating to the Aztec force, which was simply broken down into squads of 400 men into a large unit called the Capuli. Unfortunately, the Aztecs did not behold the same values of unity and support. Rather, it was every man for himself.
Another disadvantage of the Aztecs would be the lack of commander flexibility. Where the Spanish freely adjusted forces according to needs and surroundings, the Aztecs stuck to their sole action plan of surrounding the enemy and attacking from all sides. However, since the Spanish constantly dispersed Aztec troops with their cavalry in the first moments of battle, the Aztecs rarely got the opportunity to follow through.
It is important to note, though, that the Aztecs had various elite units under their command, such as the Eagle and Jaguar Knights, who mostly acted as shock troops, something the Spanish lacked.
This painting by an anonymous Mexican painter resides in the Museo Franz Mayer in Mexico City. It depicts a battle scene between the Aztec and Spanish soldiers. From this, we can see prime examples of the weapons used in combat, the spears and guns by the Spaniards, and the primitive swords used by the Aztecs you saw in the video clip.
This painting, located in the same museum, depicts the Battle of Tenochtitlan. Again, you can see the same weapons being used. The anonymous painter also included the Spanish cavalry. It shows in the bottom corner a dead horse, and its head and officer are being hung in the top corner. This shows Diamond's point that the Aztecs did know ways of overcoming the advantage of the Spanish cavalry.
This image by an anonymous Aztec artist was created circa 1519 to 22. Entitled Cortes Arriving in the New World, it shows the Spanish steel sword and armor. It also shows the cross that Cortes bore and wanted to convert the Aztecs with. So what?
Battleground tactics in the Spanish conquest help us to understand the outcome of events that cannot otherwise be accounted for by social factors.
By examining formation, weaponry, the role of discipline, commander flexibility, and army unity, we can note that the Spaniards had a clear advantage in large part due to an experience of conquest. Without these factors, the outcome is questionable. Thanks for your time.
We hope you have a better understanding of the key role of battleground tactics in the Spanish conquest.
Atahalpa.
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 Okay. Gotcha.
Got it. Tactical factors in the Spanish conquest. Our main focus will be on the encounters with the Aztecs. Alright.
Wait. Okay.
Serious face on three. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my god. It was you. Sit down. They're kind of awkward. Okay. Thanks for your time.
We hope you have a better understanding of the key role of battleground tactics. I can't even remember.
Oh my gosh, you're a jerk.
You're a jerk.
I know.